It's one of the greatest symbols of the Pacific Northwest, the beloved southern resident killer whale, orcas, who spend time year-round in Puget Sound. It's a spectacular species on the brink of extinction, signaling the demise of much more, including endangered Chinook salmon, the orca's main food source, and the cultural traditions of indigenous people, like the Soxhawtl Indian tribe of the Skagit Basin. They are salmon people who, like the orca, are suffering from the loss of Chinook. Their dances are a healing practice, a way to honor all animals on Earth, including southern resident orcas.
It's been a way of life.
Nino Maltos is the chairman of the Soxhawtl tribe.
The orca whales, to us, we see them as our brothers and sisters of the water, in the sense that we're fighting for the same thing. We're fighting for a food source, we're fighting for a way of life, and the only difference between us and them is that we have a voice and they don't.
So what does the Skagit River and the dams in it have to do with the health of the orca out here in the Salish Sea? A lot. The Skagit River produces more Chinook salmon for the orca than any other river in Puget Sound. But tribal and government scientists say the river could produce a lot more fish for whales if Seattle City Light would buck up and do its part.
In a 6-month investigation, King 5 has exposed that City Light has touted a narrative for decades that their dams don't hurt Chinook salmon, the prize meal for orcas, because they were built above nature-made fish barriers. But we found the entire Pacific Northwest scientific community doesn't believe that story anymore. In public documents, Upper Skagit Indian tribe biologists wrote that's a false narrative. And the federal agency, NOAA Fisheries, wrote big rocks aren't to blame for blocking fish, but the dam is the conclusive barrier to salmon getting upstream. NOAA also wrote the Skagit River is among the most important sources of Chinook needed for the recovery of orcas.
Well, I think the entire public was misled. The orca community went along with that.
Howard Garrett is the founder of the Orca Network based on Whidbey Island. He says there's been a lost opportunity on the Skagit, that fish passage through the dams, like fish ladders, to help Chinook access miles of blocked-off habitat could be a key benefit for the starving whales.
There's been this kind of cover-up, and now we're seeing it was wrong, and it has deprived us humans, and certainly the tribes, and especially to me, the orcas, of their essential sustenance.
Was it intentional?
Of course it wasn't intentional, Susanna.
Deborah Smith is the general manager and CEO of Seattle City Light.
No misleading intended. I think most knowledge in this world is cumulative. We learn, we grow, we study, we learn some more, we grow, we study, and that's where we are right now.
Below their hydroelectric dams, the utility is focused on helping salmon through habitat restoration. But that plan hasn't improved outcomes for fish or the whales. In 2005, the federal government listed the orca as an endangered species, but they're not recovering. The population grew to a high of 89 whales in 2006 to just 74 alive now.
The main problem southern residents are facing is a lack of food.
Dr. David Bain is the chief scientist for the Seattle-based Orca Conservancy. He says restoration projects help, but the fastest route to help the whales is to access new habitat for Chinook.
There's a lot of high-quality habitat above the dams. If the fish could reach them, we could see much larger production out of the Skagit.
In 2018, this whale, named J35 or Tahlequah, brought international attention to the plight of the Pacific Northwest orca. Tahlequah carried her dead calf throughout the Salish Sea for 17 days, an unprecedented showing of grief over the death of her baby.
J35 Tahlequah certainly showed everyone what happens when they don't get enough to eat. So every little bit, every morsel, every new source of Chinook salmon especially that you can bring into their habitat is going to help her and all the other southern residents.
Seattle City Light says they're working to change conditions on the Skagit for salmon and the orcas who depend on the river.
I think we all have a role to play. And so we're committed to doing our part and continuing to learn more, as we all are, about what has put this species in peril and how we can help bring it back. I don't care about being right. I care about doing right.
I think it's a lot of talk. I think actions speak louder than words.
No one has more at stake than Native Americans who've called the Skagit Valley home for thousands of years. They're watching salmon, the very center of their culture, disappear, and in turn, the cherished orca.
I believe that the Skagit River is taking care of Seattle City Lights financially and in every which way, and I think that it's Seattle City Lights' time to take care of the Skagit River.
After 2 years of fighting, Seattle City Light agreed in February to study the idea of fish passage under a new dam license. Their current license expires in 2025. As for the orca, of course, there are many conditions contributing to the fact that they are struggling. According to NOAA Fisheries, number one is lack of food. The second reason is toxins in the marine environment and also vessel noise. NOAA Fisheries also wrote in public documents that the orca are without question, quote, adversely influenced by the dams because they hurt Chinook salmon that the whales depend on. Along the shores of Puget Sound, I'm Susanna Frame reporting live in Seattle.